All right. Good evening, my fellow malt brains and hopheads, and welcome to tonight's virtual happy hour. Tonight's virtual happy hour is actually brought to you by Untapped's Beer Fest, heading to San Diego, October 1st through the 3rd. VIP and general admission tickets, they're actually still available. So come on down, enjoy some amazing beers in and around Petco Park from breweries like Abnormal, Alpine, Crown and Hops, Steakhouse, Firestone Walker, North Park. I mean, it's going to be pretty unreal. The beers are bringing in from all over the country, the world. The Pizza Port, of course, will be there. That's what I'm excited about. Not just the pizza, but also the beer, Weathered Souls, Wild Minds, Wren House. I mean, it's a pretty impressive list. So if you haven't checked out it yet, go ahead, head on over to festivals.untapped.com. You can learn more over there, and hope to see you guys on the field. But tickets are still on sale, for a little bit for VIP and some GA tickets available too. But let's jump to tonight. So as you've probably noticed, once again, I am not Kenny. I swooped in to this week to enjoy a beer with you all. So I'm excited to do it. And if you're confused about who this kind of Bigfoot-looking man invading your screen is, allow me to hit pause on your fear and confusion and introduce myself. So my name is Harrison Hickok. I'm actually half of the hosts of Drinking Socially, Untapped's Craft Beer Podcast. New episodes every Wednesday, right here on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. I was a professional brewer before I worked for Untapped for almost a decade in Philadelphia and Connecticut, and now I enjoy multiple choice quizzes and warm bread, but I hate toast. Get that roof of your mouth cutting garbage off this planet. But enough about me and the giant toast conspiracy that we're all just going to keep ignoring. That is not why we're here. We are here to celebrate something much more important, celebrate worlds colliding, boundaries being smashed, and delicious beer being the result, with none other than Maíra Kimura, from one of the co-founders of Japas Cervejaria. If you don't know, Japas is actually one of the premier craft breweries in all of Brazil, and along with her other co-founders, Maíra set out to show, as she elegantly puts it, that beer has no gender by establishing a world-class women-led brewery in what has, of course, historically been a male-dominated industry. And it actually gets better. So the founders of Japas, they're actually not just brewing their own take on like the newest hazy IPA, they're taking this party to the next level by celebrating their shared Japanese heritage with pretty much every beer they brew, utilizing traditional ingredients like jasmine and miso and even wasabi, which I am excited to learn more about, being a fan of spicy things, and also probably will be a difficult brew day. So anyway, I'm excited to learn more about what Japas is brewing up. Please raise a glass and join me in welcoming Maíra to the show.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Good evening. Cheers.
Good evening. Cheers.
I know we already got started behind stage where we went live, so we're having a blast. If you haven't grabbed a beer yet, please do. Let us know what you're drinking in the comments, all that cool stuff. But Maíra, thank you so much for being here and taking the time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes. So let's start with the obvious stuff. What are you drinking right now? What do you have in front of you?
I'm drinking this Sour Plum. It's a sour ale with...
Yes. I love it. That's
it's
amazing.
A series that we have. We usually change the fruits, and the name is Sour.
I love it. Nice. That's a beautiful artwork. I want to talk about that too. The artwork is, I mean, there's so much going on here. There's history. Well, we're also, brewing brand new beers with, again, traditional ingredients. The artwork's amazing. You're, a part of a women-led brewery. There's so many cool things going on. The opposite is kind of tough to start, but like where to start. But I'm glad we're talking about sour. So you said it's a series. Plum, is that one that's around all the time, or is that one that you kind of rotate seasonally? How does that work?
We do rotate, yeah. There's only like one sour at a time.
Okay.
Next one's probably going to be sour yuzu. Because we love yuzu.
Yes, right. That's amazing. Cool. And I noticed when us talking and kind of doing research about you guys, wasabi. I'm a huge fan of spicy things, and all your beers caught my eye. I was getting hungry as I was thirsty, reading about them. But the wasabiru specifically, you guys brew that with wasabi. Can you kind of take me through like I'm just imagining a bucket of wasabi and someone's dumping green, like little wasabi things in there, but I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's much more refined and elegant. Tell me all about it. I want to know what I can.
Something like that.
Maybe I'm a little closer than I realized. Okay, cool. But yeah, tell me about that beer though. Like, what's that brew day like? Is the wasabi going in like the boil? Is it something you condition it on? Tell me more.
So this beer was like the first one we ever brewed. That was the beer that started Japas Cervejaria.
Wow.
Yeah, we did it like almost like a joke. I mean, we weren't planning to have like a brewery. I used to work with other things. I used to have another brand that I founded, and I met Fernanda and Yumi, and back then there was another partner, Carolina, and we started to think about what we can do to celebrate this heritage that we all have in common.
Right.
So we decided to brew a beer like in a 40-liter like small equipment.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, and we decided to split this batch in 4, and we did like wasabi, and I don't even remember the other ones because like so much wasabi one that we forgot about the other. And then we started to post about it, and we were invited to brew this beer in a brew pub in São Paulo.
Wow.
And then everybody loved it. The beer like was released in a Monday. On a Thursday it was over like 700 liters. And we were like, wow, we have something here that we need to explore more. We need to work this better. And so that's how Wasabiru was born. And it's a American Pale Ale. It's got a little bit of more caramel than usually there is in a American Pale Ale.
Yeah.
To balance the wasabi, because the wasabi is like, and it was like a study, like a lot of things we tested to test the amount of wasabi, because it's kind of a hard ingredient to work with, right?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wow. Yeah. So we put it after fermentation.
Okay. Oh, great.
Yeah. And it's the wasabi. Yeah, you put it there, and it's like a green paste. And
and you're doing it.
And you leave it there. Then we do the dry hop, and
wow, that's amazing. So it is after fermentation, dry hopping on top of it, which is so cool. That must be has anyone ever dropped that tank and taken the wasabi and hop paste and like made a thing with it? Or is it that point you just kind of like, no, not yet. No, that would be like
no.
Yeah, maybe not. Probably not the best idea.
And the fun thing about it, it's like it's not that thing in the nose that wasabi does. It doesn't do it.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
Which is kind of a bummer because I wanted it to.
Right. Yeah, sure. I mean, that would be maybe just more wasabi. Who knows? But I feel like you're probably, that was my kind of follow-up question, was wasabi obviously an intense spicy flavor. Was batch 1 like everyone smoke fuming out of their ears and their nose on fire, or did you nail it right away? You said you kind of had to do a little bit of back and forth to get that kind of the amount of wasabi right. How long did that take?
We adjusted it in the small equipment because it's like, it's kind of dangerous to do it in a big.
Yeah,
but then we got it right, and now we know how to use it. But it was kind of a challenge. But
yeah, that's
first
amazing. Yeah, and that's such a, there's so many different beers out there today, but there's definitely a like niche crowd of craft beer fans that hunt for spicy beer. I know. Like, Stone Brewing made a bunch of spicy beers a couple of years ago. We have a brewery near us that makes a jalapeno pale ale that always, does really well and it sells out. Did you and this is the first beer you guys made. Was it like, and like you said, it was it almost sounds like a challenge. Like, let's see.
Starting in the hard mode.
Wow. Right. Yeah. You really were going like shooting for the stars to begin with, and everyone reacted, amazingly to it. So, but did you kind of find, and this beer has kind of grown and now it has obviously a history to it. Is there like a core, like Wasabiru group of people who are like, that's every time they come in, that's the pale they want? Or is it more like people daring each other to get it? Like, I'm just trying to imagine, right, the kind of the fervor as you go around to the bars that are supporting you guys and pouring this. what that experience is like. Have you seen any crazy interactions when people have this beer for the first time?
Yeah, people usually are very surprised by it.
Yeah, I bet.
Because they don't expect that like wasabi punch in their faces. So, cool. It's always fun to see. And it's not like a year-round beer. So every time you release it, people get like, oh, wasabiru is coming up. I mean, here in Brazil it is, but in the US it isn't.
Right.
Here we keep it in the year-round line.
Sure. But yeah, rest of the world, you got to get it when you see it. So if you see it on the shelf or your local, bar has it, go grab it. Don't wait. Don't assume it'll be there forever. Get it right away. It's
time to brew it again, actually.
Ooh, cool. That's great. All right. So keep an eye out soon. That's amazing. So, all right. So we're talking about wasabi, but as I kind of said at the beginning, and is immediately obvious when you look at your beers and you read about you guys online, food is such a constant here. And like I said, I feel like I'm learning as much about new things to cook with as I am learning about new things to brew with when I just read the labels of the beers you guys are making. So I was curious, was cooking and like cuisine a really big part of your life kind of before starting the brewery, or was that something you kind of discovered more and more about as you were also kind of, again, exploring your heritage and seeing like what will work in a beer, or maybe what hasn't been done yet in a beer? Can you kind of take me a little bit on that journey?
Of course. Cool. Actually, I'm good at eating.
Yeah, very important, right?
I've always been good at eating Japanese food and all kinds of food.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm cooking. I'm cooking more and more during like the pandemic, and I started to cook at home more. Yeah. I used to go out to eat a lot, and I know a lot. I mean, all of us, we know a lot of Japanese places because we love to go to izakayas and this kind of like Japanese bars. We've been to Japan a lot of times, so So yeah, I'm in love with Japanese food. I mean, it's like I've always eaten since I was like little girl. My father and my grandmother used to cook all the time. They do actually. My grandma is she's dead, but my father still cooks a lot, and I learned a lot from him.
That's great. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely, again, you can see it in just the way you're thinking about the ingredients, that the passion comes through right away. And then, as I mentioned, the artwork too, which I'd love to talk about for a minute. So you just showed off that great can of the Sawa, and we've got, like you said, yuzu's coming. Tell me about this. Did you guys doing this artwork yourself? Have you found an artist who is like just kind of getting what you're trying to do and just letting them do what they want?
Fortunately, we have a designer, she's my partner.
Oh, great. Perfect. Okay, awesome.
She's a designer. She's amazing. She has a background of collage, and she does a lot of work. She's a real artist.
Yeah.
So she does everything by collage. I mean, these are like amazing. These are artworks I really love. I have some other here. Those are the ones I had. This one we just released in Brazil. It's going to be released soon in there.
Yeah, awesome.
This is black miso. Sorry, those are the ones I have here.
That's
this
awesome.
Is black miso that we did it for Extreme Beer Fest last year.
Yeah.
So those beers are, I mean, the labels are something else. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Yumi's work.
Yes.
She's really brilliant.
Yes.
I mean, there's a one that I find particularly perfect, which is Kasato Maru, which is the beer that we made to celebrate the 110 years of Japanese immigrants coming to Brazil. The anniversary.
Yes. Yeah.
So we did this Kasato Maru, which is the ship that came with the first immigrants.
Yeah.
And she did the label. I mean, the waves are like she ripped the paper up. It's amazing. I mean, I didn't even know you could do that. So I'm a huge fan of her work.
Yeah, that is amazing too. And it was a Newland IPA, if I remember correctly. It was like Yeah, that's amazing. And that's such, the artwork, obviously, you walk into any beer store today and it's immediately apparent that how your can looks is very important. And because you got to stand it on that shelf. You got to catch somebody's eye somehow. And a lot of breweries I've found are kind of tending towards like the more busy labels. There's lots of stuff going on. I love those. I worked at a brewery that did that. Almost every label was like a Where's Waldo painting where there was all kinds of little people doing things and you can look at it for hours and it's great. But you guys have taken this other approach where it's stunning how, right, the colors, the way they work together. The one you were just mentioning also has like a peach kind of coming up, like the sun almost in the background of the boat. Like it's so cool. It's just amazing that you're kind of in a world when beer cans become very busy in an attempt to, again, stand out. You guys are saying, we don't need to do that. We know who we are as a brewery. We know our identity. This is it. Take a look. And obviously they're like works of art. I would love prints of any of these in like my house. And that's cool. You don't find that every day. So I was definitely taken by that when I was learning more about what you're doing. Just the artwork itself I felt like I could have gone on forever. So thank you for sharing some insights into that for us tonight. And yeah, and if you guys at home haven't checked it out, you can just go over to their website, click on products, look at all the beers there, and take a look yourself, or jump on Untappd. And obviously, they're all in there too. All right, cool. So let's talk about the brewery then, kind of the origins as we're diving into some beers here, having fun. How did you guys all meet, your co-founders? How long did it take kind of from going from reading about your story? It was kind of like it sounded like conversations at bars and brew fests, and then it turned into like, let's try this out. Let's do this. Can you kind of take me along that journey a bit, kind of how it became not just a dream? Sounds like the Wasiburu really started it, but how did you get there? How did you get to that point where you're like, we're going to do it. This needs to happen. This is exciting. That's always fun. Starting something that now becomes a dream, that now becomes reality.
So we met exactly how we described in the website. I mean, we in festivals.
Yeah.
Yumi and Fernanda actually studied together in a sommelier course, a beer sommelier course here in Brazil. One of the first classes there were. I don't remember exactly how I met Fernanda. I think it was in a festival or in a bar, something like that. Like we met and started to talk, and I don't remember exactly. Yumi, I don't remember exactly too, because she used to make some art for my previous brewery too, and she's married to a good friend of mine who's also a designer. So we knew each other already. So that was it. Fernanda and Carolina, the ex former partner, they posted a picture on Instagram, on Facebook, saying Japanese girls from beer, something like that.
Okay.
And then people started to tag like Yumi and me, and like, there are other Japanese too. And then we started to, let's do something. Let's do something together. Like I said, like small.
Kind of a pilot batch, just try some stuff out. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it started. I mean, it was like for fun, and then it became like a business. Right.
It sounded like it, right, to have that, as you said, go from Monday, the beer goes on tap, and Thursday it's sold out. That kind of tells you a lot, that like, oh, wow, we have something here, and let's run with it.
That was amazing. We were like so shocked because we were like, what?
I know. And I'm never going to forget the first beer you guys made was a wasabi pale ale, and everyone was like, more. And it wasn't like shocking. And that's amazing in and of itself. So hats off to you for sure. And we're getting some cool comments in. I'm not alone in really enjoying what you guys are doing. We have Opia saying, love Japas. Hopefully
Yumi's online. She said,
yes, exactly right. I think she said, right, thanks for the love as well. We're all here hanging out, having a good time. Ninkazi Brew Club jumped in here. What an amazing brewery. Wish we get this in Canada. I know. I wish I could get it in North Carolina.
Let's talk.
There we go. Exactly. I like that. Sure. Why not? Let's talk about that for a minute. So right now, obviously, you guys are based in Brazil, but I saw on Untappd your beer being checked in the U.S., other places, kind of all over the world. Right now, where are you being distributed? Where can people find some of your beer?
Well, right now, all over Brazil,
Okay, great.
we're selling like in every state. And in the US, I always have to memorize the states because
Yeah, right.
California,
Okay,
Florida,
got it.
Maine, Michigan,
Okay.
Massachusetts, Oregon, New York.
Yep.
It's in like alphabetic order, so I don't
Right.
forget.
I think I saw
Oregon,
Oregon. Yeah, right. I think I saw a lot on tap. Right, Florida.
Rhode Island,
I think okay, Rhode Island,
and
Washington D.C.
Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Remember
Pennsylvania.
everything. It wasn't no
Cool.
alphabetic order, but
Right. That was perfect. That was great. But yeah, I'm seeing it kind of popping up right at the Oat Soda and Lake Orion in Michigan. They have you guys on, I think, on tap or in cans right now. Right, Sao Paulo. I'm seeing Sud Saloon in Clearmont, Florida. I mean, this is really cool to be right an international brewery. How long did that take to go from okay, you made the wasabi pale ale, it sells out. Now you're distributing internationally. How long did that take about to get there?
it was a long road.
Yeah.
That the first brew was in 2014. The
Okay.
small one in the small equipment was
Yeah.
like in the June or July, something like that.
Okay.
Then in December we did the beer in the larger brew pub equipment.
Yep.
We released it in the January 2015.
Okay.
Then we started brewing right after in a brewery called Invicta, and then we went to Dádiva in 2018, and then in 2019 we started to brew in the States.
Awesome.
So,
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, right, but that's relatively speaking, it's not crazy long. I mean, it's just a couple of years to go international is pretty impressive. And I'm seeing more people getting excited. Rob saying, in Massachusetts, hunting for your beer now. You're already making new fans out there all over the world. This is easy.
Shoot us a message on Instagram. I can help you find it.
There we go. Perfect. There you go, Rob. All right, awesome. And then if someone else jumping in saying, hope to find the beer in Los Angeles. Cool. Yes.
Also, like
hunt along. You're right. Message me. They can help you find it on Instagram. That's great. You can jump on Untapped, track it down over there. This is cool stuff. All right, so let's talk about something else you guys are doing that's really, really cool. So you are once again part of what is now sold out, the Beers Without Beards that Hop Culture is doing. You guys were on a panel the other year, again, with a bunch of other women who are running and working at breweries all over the world, which was, I got to watch that panel. It was really, really something. It's going to be so much fun this year. But I was kind of wondering, what has it been like for you? Okay, 2014, 2015, you're starting and you're a women-led brewery, to see the industry kind of now 6 or so, 5, 6 years later, not just recognizing, but kind of celebrating and finding fun ways, creative ways for other people to learn about what women-led breweries are doing. What's that been like to be a woman leading a brewery during, a time when it's becoming, again, like more recognized and celebrated?
Not always easy, because sometimes people ask us, like, where's your boss?
Right. Oh my God. Oh boy. Right. You're looking at the boss.
And kind of get shocked when I say, well, we're the bosses.
Right. You're the boss. You're looking at him. That's the line.
But yeah, I mean, it's been like a long journey and it's still going on. So I really loved participating in the panel last year of Beers Without Beards. Was amazing, and I'm so excited to be there. I was in the year before, I was there in New York to join it was so much fun. The festival is such good vibes, and I felt like really happy there. So I'm really happy to be part of it again.
Good. Great. Yeah. Well, it's always, they're obviously Hop Culture is doing impressive stuff. There's such an inclusive company. I really love all the things they're doing. So this is just another one. And again, it's already sold out. So that tells you a lot too, that there are no more tickets for this year's Beers Without Beards. So certainly the hot commodity. Hopefully, a lot of people watch tonight will get to enjoy those beers. I think you guys have one beer in that box, right? Which one is was it a fruited sour?
It's a fruited sour with a Fuji apple.
That's it. Ooh, all right. Yes, perfect. That's right before fall, right before apple picking time here. Drink your apples, folks. It's better for you anyway. So let's shift gears slightly. So we're talking about beer and food a lot tonight, but I know you guys also have a line of canned cocktails, which made me equally fascinated. Tell me all about this. What's it called? Kind of what is it? Tell me more.
It's called Haiboro.
Okay.
Haiboro. Of course. I mean, sometimes I say it wrong.
Right.
It's I don't know if you know it, highball.
Okay. Yes. I've heard that. Yeah.
So in Japan, it's a huge fever. I mean, you go
Okay.
to any store, like a vending machine. There are vending machines on the streets that sell highball. I mean, it's insane. All the brands, all the whiskey brands have their own highballs.
Got it.
So we've all been there in Japan, and we loved it. And we thought, what if we took this to Brazil too? What if we did this? People still don't understand really well because we're like a brewery.
Right.
Cervejaria means brewery.
Sure.
In Portuguese, so people get confused a little bit.
Okay.
So we're planning to do it in the US too. But it's basically like a whiskey.
Yeah.
Not very aged whiskey, like a younger whiskey with sparkling water.
Okay.
Soda. I mean, it's very simple, but it's very easy to drink too. I mean, it's like a whiskey soda.
That helps. Right. There you go. Whiskey soda in a can. Sold. You got me. You have everyone in the United States paying attention right now. Whiskey soda in a can. Where can I get this? And you guys have a couple different flavors of it, correct? A couple different kinds.
We try to make connection with our beer line. So we have a yuzu one, a classic one, which is like the base, and a decopon one, which I think you call sumo. I don't remember the name. It's a tangerine, like a huge tangerine.
Oh yes, the sumos. Yes, yep.
Sumo citrus, right?
Yeah, a citrus fruit. Yeah, the sumo. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They're like larger kind of citrus fruits.
Yeah, very juicy. So we did like those two, and we have 3.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, and that's a really big thing in the States right now is these canned cocktails and craft cocktails. Tons of craft breweries are doing that here. So, right. And I know working around Tapped, I've spoken with so many businesses in Brazil over the past 5 years, and craft beer is just growing like crazy there. And it's so cool you're in the middle of it. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before what you guys are doing right here is like the next big thing there too. So good on you to get ahead of it. Because I can tell you from sitting in the U.S. that craft cocktails in a can it's the thing to do right now. So that's awesome. Is that distributed outside of Brazil as well, or is it just in Brazil?
No, just Brazil right now, but we're planning to do it in the U.S.
Okay. All right, cool. There we go. Just a matter of time. Keep following you guys online. I'm sure. Is that a good place if people want to kind of learn more and follow you guys? Is Instagram or Facebook probably?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Easy stuff. And your handle's right down there. Pretty obvious. Just Japas Cervejaria. Obviously. Cool. Now, okay, so we mentioned about where you guys can find you guys right now, but we've also talked a little bit about coming to the States with this awesome line of canned cocktails. Can you talk a little bit more about kind of what the next couple of years looks like for Japas? Maybe I know the world's kind of crazy right now, but do you guys have some kind of goals, to increase distribution or open a tap room or kind of things like that you're able to speak about yet? I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon for maybe some surprise down the road, but anything you can tease for us?
Of course, we have so many plans.
Right, of course. I'm sure that's right. The wrong question is to you is tell me only a few. I probably should have said that.
Well, we plan to have a brew pub someday. We wouldn't like to open a brewery.
Yeah.
Because it's we designed our business model to be like that now. Of course, we can change everything.
Sure.
But now we're thinking about having a brew pub, and we have so many plans.
Yeah.
And doing like non-alcoholic things.
Sure.
Not necessarily beer.
Right.
So
okay.
we feel like the brand can expand to several directions.
Oh yeah.
We have like a small e-commerce with their stuff, with the caps and t-shirts and other stuff we're brewing.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So I don't know, we have so many things.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of pick. Where do you start? I hear you there. That's a good problem to have, to be just full of creative partners and have great ideas.
Yeah,
and
the three of us are really very creative.
Yeah.
So what we like is to create things, and we have fun doing it. So
that's awesome. And it shows. I mean, again, the beer, everyone on tap talking about it. It's so obvious. I'm just jealous of everybody that's checked them in. I'm with you, Rob. I'm going to be hunting for them. I'll find them somewhere.
I can send some for you.
It worked. No pressure. But truly, I mean, this has been so much fun, Maíra, talking to you about beer, about food, about what you guys are doing now, what you've done. I mean, it really is. It's impressive. There's so many great stories when it comes to like, how did a craft brewery begin? And your story is right there. It's right there at the top of being so, again, unique. It's different. You're not just chasing down the next hazy IPA. You have a way different story to tell. Yeah, you're not. You have a much different story to tell, and your fan base just keeps growing and growing and along this journey with you. So that says a ton, probably almost as much as selling out of your first wasabi beer in just a couple of days, which is, again, that's such a great story and such a cool thing to kind of start this all off as you, right. If you could do that, I'm sure you must have thought, if we could sell a wasabi pale ale in a couple of days, we could probably do anything. That must have been pretty empowering.
You're right.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So I just want to thank you again for jumping on with me tonight. And we already covered this, but Instagram is probably the best place for everyone to follow you guys, right? Anything else you want to leave everyone with? Any thoughts or any other places to check you guys out on? Jump on your website. What should they do to want to learn more?
No, I think we said a lot.
Okay, cool. We said it all. Cool, perfect, excellent. Then I did my job, kind of. We hope. But but I just want to thank you again for sharing all this cool stuff with us tonight. And
thank you for inviting us.
Yes, of course. And again, hopefully you guys are some of you are able to enjoy the beer that's in the Beers Without Beers box. But if not, jump on Untappd, message Maíra on Instagram to find their beer. It's out there. It's in the States. So maybe you got a friend in New York that can get you a bottle somehow. We won't ask how. We can figure that out. But yeah, it's here, and I'm definitely going to go hunting for it, and excited to do so. But cheers to you. Cheers, everybody out there. Thanks so much.
Oh, my glass is kind of empty.
That's all right. All right. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye. All right. Cool, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. Another virtual happy hour in the books. We did it. We learned a lot. I'm hungry. I want to eat everything. But that was a lot of fun, and I truly am. What a cool wasabi pale ale, and it sells out. You got to be kidding me. I don't even think Sam Calagione from Dogfish Head could say that, and that's pretty wild. So that was really cool talking with me about everything. Next week, Kenny will be back. But until then, if you want to listen to my rambling somewhere else, you can do that whatever you want on our podcast. We got a zillion episodes here on this YouTube channel, but also anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And as a reminder, tonight's episode was brought to you by Untappd Beer Fest. We're in San Diego. We're coming, having fun. Petco Park. Going to be a blast. Crazy brewery is going to be there. I saw Speakeasy, Station Craft, Taproom Beer Company. We got Mars Community Brewing, Mountains Walking, all sorts of cool stuff. So if you haven't grabbed tickets yet, please consider doing so. But other than that, I'm going to go finish this beer, jump online to find someone who can get me some of Japas beer and secure that somehow. So until next time, peace, punch, and Captain Crunch. I'm out of here, guys. Have a great night.